Hey, let them know goodbye. Think y'all forget that I have breeze at my disposal. Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are back with another reaction to Avatar: The Last Airbender, the Netflix adaptation, and we are now on to episode 6, which is called Masks. So the last episode, we had our trio go into the spirit world and have quite the adventure there, and unfortunately they ended up getting caught by Ko, who is one of the monsters, one could say, of the spirit world, and it's a face stealer, and what it loves to do is feed on your deepest fears. And unfortunately, we see that Sokka and Katara have been caught in Ko's web. He was not able to get to Aang because of his avatar status, but Aang was able to have a beautiful visit with his former mentor and best friend Gyatso, and Gyatso was the one who let him know that one of the previous avatars, that being Roku, there we go. I would say Roshi. Avatar Roku was actually able to get the best of Ko many years ago, that he might be the one to offer some advice to what Aang can do to break his friends free of this hold that Ko has on them. So Aang is on his way to the Fire Nation because the temple for Avatar Roku is right in the heart of the Fire Nation. This is a very dangerous thing for him to be doing, especially by himself, but he's going to do whatever he needs to help his friends, but also help the village that unfortunately has been ravaged by this angry spirit that is justifiably angry because of what the Fire Nation has done to it. So that was the main thing we left off on. Aang is literally about to land in the Fire Nation, so I'm excited to see how he's going to handle this new challenge. Let's jump into the episode. But just before I do, just a reminder that if you'd like to be notified of when I drop new episodes to this particular show or anything else you might be watching of mine, please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. And please leave some comments and likes below if you are loving what you're seeing. All right, that out of the way, guys, let's get into the episode right about now.
So it's hard to remember there was a time when we were actually excited to show the world our true face.
Yeah, before the world tells you that it's not good enough.
Does it look right? I had trouble with the shoulder guards.
Well, it's so nice to see vulnerable Zuko once in a while.
Ozai, however, seems to enjoy having an audience.
Father says he welcomes different opinions.
I
Lies.
advise against testing that.
Yeah,
Best to observe.
yeah. That's just all talk. Looking good.
Look,
Like a prince.
Aw, another big genuine smile from him. And we know it is so long before we see that smile again.
Lieutenant G, I asked you a question.
We were given new orders.
New orders by who?
By me.
That's why you don't be a jerk to your crew members.
Fire Lord Ozai saw fit to put me in charge of all operations related to the capture of the Avatar. Of course, I welcome your assistance.
Oh, the
In fact, I
condescension.
expected
But again, this is kind of why not being a dick will work in your favor.
to discuss a few personnel changes I'd like to make. Until then, carry on.
Ooh, the condescension. But listen, you were kind of a dick. You're kind of a dick there, Zuko. I mean, if anyone deserves it, it's Zhao, but still.
Lieutenant, do you know what the punishment for mutiny is?
I do, and that's why I can't do what you say. Admiral Zhao was very clear with these orders and what would happen if we didn't follow them.
Yeah, he don't have no loyalty to you, bro. And now you know why.
Are you seriously gonna let this spineless slug tell us what to do? He
Yes,
doesn't know what's at stake.
because we dislike you. And you give us no reason to care about your cause.
Only those of us on this boat know what it's been like. Zhao is not the one who deserves your loyalty.
He doesn't, but
General, with all due respect, your nephew doesn't know the meaning of the word. If he did, he would have shown us, the people who've been with him night and day for 3 years, a lot more respect. Instead, we've had to put up with his insults and abuse and tantrums.
facts upon
He
facts.
doesn't care what we've had to sacrifice because he's never had to sacrifice anything.
Other than his face?
But he's not our prince,
Oh, you glad you got that off your chest, G?
sir.
With the sir. Oh, God, if Iroh King stepped up to me, I'd be shaking.
But you must understand, he's been through a lot.
How would he know that? Has Zuko ever
And
shared it?
he knows far more about sacrifice than you can ever know.
But how could his crew know that when all they see is the rough edges? I get where you're coming from, Myro. That's your baby boy, but I have to be with G on this one. People are not going to be loyal to you if you don't give them a reason to be loyal to you. Zuko has abused these people. Why would the kicked puppy run back? You are not alone. The gods are here with you.
Greetings, wise sages. I'm glad to see you.
Poor Aang always assuming that everyone's good.
I'm the Avatar.
We know.
That's why we're going to destroy you.
You're supposed to be men of peace.
Do I have to? Why do I have to smack y'all every time? But bless Aang, he doesn't know any better.
I'm a friend.
Oh, we like the mechanism.
Caught us in, have we?
I gotta root for June just for a second because we love Arden. I want her to fail, of course, but I have to root for her in the meantime.
I need to make contact with Avatar Roku. He's the only one who can tell me how to save my friends.
I will hold them off for as long as I can.
Thanks, bro.
Remember the teachings of Avatar Roku. Fire. It's not meant to dominate the other elements. It should exist in balance.
Yeah,
with them.
you know what happens when fire consumes everything, right? There's nothing left.
Step aside.
No.
I can't do that.
That's right. That's what having a real backbone looks like,
It's me.
right?
Aang.
Who else would be here?
Customary to bow before your elder
No thanks.
and to avert your eyes
Relax.
and hop on one leg.
Thank you. Exactly. It's getting out of control. A bow, maybe.
I couldn't resist. It's good to see you, Aang. But what took you so long?
Long story.
Aren't avatars incarnations of each other?
We share the same spark, but we are our own people.
Thank God.
What did Kyoshi tell you the role of the Avatar
Death,
was?
destruction.
Said I need to be.
In addition to being a warrior, the Avatar must also be a diplomat.
So, we can solve the world.
He's like, that is right up my alley. Thank God. Thanks, man.
Anything you need.
It has to do with Ko.
Anything but that.
He's captured my friends, and if I don't do something, I'll be lost forever. Please. I heard you defeated him once.
I was about to say, he didn't say defeated.
The pennant belonged to the Mother of Faces, an ancient spirit who crafted faces
That's
for
a
all
creepy ass
living
statue. I'm not gonna lie. Kind of want it.
Is Ko's mother.
Oh, well, yeah, that would be something.
I hope that you're able to save your friends, but the truth is, for the Avatar, friends can be
Yeah, so it's a weakness.
placing the world's needs ahead of your needs.
It's kind of what
On
Boomy
that,
was trying to tell you.
It'll save you and the ones you love a lot of pain.
But that's up to each person, though. And maybe that's the decisions you felt you had to make. But Aang's not that guy. Aang can't survive without connectivity. It's literally his lifeline. Hello? Is everyone dead outside? Damn. I was joking, but I guess so. There's got to be someone left. Aang, we don't have time to be concerned. Let's move on. See what I said about minding people business, Aang?
So you're the Avatar, huh? Not sure what all the fuss is about.
Well, you'd know if you hadn't tried to kill me.
So if you're smart, you just sit back and wait for the dust to clear.
What
and pick
dust?
the broken pieces for the left.
My whole race was eliminated.
As far as I'm concerned, the world's just fine the way it is.
Sounds very broken.
I trust you. You know why?
Because if there's any missing, you'll come after us?
Because you're so cute.
He is, actually. I get it. I get it.
My friends are in danger, and I'm the only one who can save them. If I don't return soon, I'll lose them forever.
Of course, y'all don't care.
Do you know what it's like to have people depending on you?
Clearly
Have
not.
someone's life in your hands?
Clearly not. You're nothing like your
You couldn't
grandfather.
have always been this way.
Oh, you're so
Happened to
sweet.
you.
His father.
Tundra tanks to come over the top.
Oh no, now he's
They're
guessing.
Earthbenders. Our tanks would be buried under rocks in seconds.
It's my first war council meeting. Let me breathe.
If you send them into the heart of the forces, how will they retreat?
They won't.
But they'll be lost.
Yeah, get to know your dad. The
You're gonna
truth.
sacrifice them.
Sacrifice is a part of war.
Then why don't you sacrifice yourself, sir? Oh, right.
Little boys should know better than to play at war.
How about we shut up? Do we ought to set his hair on fire?
It's a terrible plan.
What did you say?
I mean, was this the place? I mean, kudos for the balls, but I mean...
It's unworthy of a Fire Nation officer.
You dare question
Enough! There is only one way to resolve this. Agni Kai.
Huh? Bro, this is my first battle!
We'll take the Avatar.
Over my dead body.
I mean, he'll do it.
However,
How dare you!
Yuyan archers. Ozai was gracious enough to lend them to me.
Damn, that is some real agility.
He's been waiting a long time, and I don't want him to be disappointed any more than he already
I would punch him in the face just one time. What's he gonna do? Punch him in the face. What's so annoying though is that both Zuko and Zhao are like on the same energy right now. Zhao, sorry.
But the Avatar is lost!
See, now if you just
Right
let
now,
him
Zhao
go.
has the upper hand, but sooner or later he'll make a mistake, and that's when we can make our move. Until then,
That's not been Zuko's strong suit like ever, though. He'll even spell patience, let alone express it.
Can't let everyone down again. Not again.
I'm 112 years old. Get on your knees.
It's not my future I'm worried about.
really?
Yeah, I know being selfless is definitely not your trait. We know that. I'm with him. Did you forget I'm an airbender? Do something. I dare you.
What are you doing? Don't write that down.
What? You told me to capture everything. Make up your mind.
We've done something no one has been able to do.
You didn't do it, though. Zuko did. Such a little man. Look at him, just soaking up the adulation. Do I see a mask? Do I see a blue mask? Here's for a boy that doesn't give up. Thank God this is before they used to do the whole mirror underneath the carriage check, huh? You didn't hear anything. Look away.
Who's there?
Yo, mama! Now you two investigate. No? Ring the alarm. Ooh, the Naruto run! Aang's like, what's going on out there, bros? Hello? He's like, huh? Why?
Who are you?
We worry about that later. We leave now.
Run now. Talk later.
There we go. Catching up. Let's go. Little heads popping up. Cute. I mean, technically, Aang, can't you just fly over the wall? Oh, yeah. There's perimeter. And you'd have to leave Zuko. Yeah. Oh, you being foiled is literally the best thing since Christmas.
Loyal or faithful? Say.
Exactly. Let me just keep doing these notes. He's shady. I like him.
The Avatar has escaped!
But I thought we were celebrating his capture 2 minutes ago. What's going on, Commander? Yeah, Aang, we're gonna have to join the fight, bro. Zuko's strong, but... Exactly. I'll blow all your asses off of here. Nope. Back down. There's no capturing the castle today. Look at them working together, guys. Yes, Aang. Let them know goodbye. Think y'all forget that I have Breeze at my disposal. Yeah, he's been holding back. Oh, God. Hurry up. Quickly. They climb fast. We don't have time. We're going to be fighting all night. There's too many of them. Okay, listen, Aang saying I know how to use physics, bruh. Yeah, I'm that smart. This is cool. That was really well done. Dodge! Oh, jeez. Well done.
I need the Avatar
alive.
Oh, thank you for that little note. Just go with it. You can't risk it, can you, Zhao?
Open the gate!
That's freaking right. Now. Okay, now we run for our lives. He's smart, though.
Shot.
I was about to say, get out of the archer distance. Exactly. How would you like to have no air? Yeah, he's an airbender. Yeah, she's like, I can't see through what I can't see, guy. I'm really good, but leave the mask on. It's better. Yeah, little Zuko. But he did save you for himself. But still, yeah, let's go. That dust is not going to stay up forever. It's what you should have done, truthfully. But that's why you're a better avatar than most. Yeah, if that had been Kyoshi, would have left his ass.
You shouldn't try to move. You hurt.
Zuko's very stubborn. You're going to learn that. Aang's like, I'm trying to figure you out, bro.
Might be a little personal.
I mean, since we're locked in here, let's bond.
Goat hair or rabbit?
Huh?
Your characters are so neat. I could never get mine like that. Monks used to say lemur droppings were more legible than my brushstrokes.
All right, fine. He's so cute. You know how hateful you have to be not to find him endearing? Come on.
You have information on all the past avatars that no one else has. All the air nomad monks, they're all gone. So all I had was your notebook. Can't tell you how many nights I stayed up reading it.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Goat hair.
Who?
It's stiffer, more control.
Little crack in the armor?
A lot of the time when I was supposed to be meditating, I was actually sleeping. I always got caught. Probably didn't help that I snored.
See? He's cute! He's cute. Zuko's like, I'm not smiling. My face is twitching. Sore.
If I catch you, I can go home.
There we go. The
I
reasoning.
can take my place as the rightful heir to the Fire Lord.
And that's what you want? To be the next Fire Lord?
Yes. Of course, it's what everyone expects of me.
Yeah, but that didn't answer the question.
What everyone expects of me. All I do is worry about that.
Yeah, you think you've got expectations, Zuko? How about the world?
Maybe you don't have to be like the other firebenders.
You never wanted to be, really.
You know what the Fire Lord is doing is wrong. So you don't have to be like him. You can show some compassion.
Yeah, that's what got me this, is what he's thinking. Okay.
And my father is a great man.
Okay. I mean, he is the only parent you got left, so I get it.
Compassion? Compassion is a sign of weakness.
Who told you that? Your mom?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you.
Stop apologizing. He meant to hurt you.
I have a feeling you've been hurt more than enough.
Oh, Aang, you're such a good kid. To a kid at this point who does not deserve it. Ooh, you hit him hard, knocked him right back into a flashback. I always say, you know you get hit hard when you're knocked into a flashback.
Even when they come up with terrible plans.
I mean, that's not a criticism.
My plans.
Oh.
My strategy.
Oh.
Rise.
No, please, Father.
Rise! Brother! Don't do this.
I'm really trying not to be distracted by his abs.
We'll see.
This is the great man, huh? Too slow. Not with one hand behind his back. Oh, God. Oh, poor Iroh. Damn, one arm behind his back. This hurts. I've never understood how a parent could ever hurt their child like that on purpose. This is why his dad got ticked.
Compassion is a sign of weakness.
Interesting. Your dad is a terrible man, sir, and I'm really sad that you don't see it yet.
Should be able to get back to your ship without getting spotted.
Hmm.
You know the worst part about being born 100 years ago?
Yeah.
I miss my friends. Like Kusan and Tears from the Fire Nation.
Hmm.
Do you think we could have been friends?
If you didn't have the same dad, maybe. He's like, I kind of knew you were going to do that, unfortunately.
Any sign of the prince, we'll let you know.
Thank you,
Lieutenant. But I'll wait a little longer.
That's his baby.
If anything, Zuko cares too much. Especially about the people on this ship.
Of course, sir.
He's like, I just don't see it.
Have you ever wondered how you and the others were assigned this mission? He says your vision will be fine, which means you have the good fortune of continuing.
Aw. The f do you want?
Now is not a
Finish the job?
I wish to speak with my son.
He's hurt.
By you.
Your spirit, however, still needs strengthening.
Goodbye.
You held back today. Maybe you saw that as a sign of respect, but it wasn't.
Respect, it's love. You freak.
You must be willing to give up the weak to make yourself strong. That is what makes us the Fire Nation. That is why we sacrifice the 41st Division. That is what you must do.
No. That's what you felt you had to do.
I've sheltered you, and it's made you soft like your mother.
Okay.
Perhaps the demands of the world outside will prove to be a better teacher.
Yeah, away from you, please.
Bring me the Avatar. You are not to set a foot within our borders until this task is completed, under threat of the severest of penalties.
Ozai, you can't.
Brother,
He did.
it's done.
But it was the best thing that could have ever happened to him.
And since you're so concerned with the 41st Division, take them with you.
Yeah.
As your
Zuko
crew.
saved your lives and you didn't even know it. But it wasn't even about you. He did that because he can't stand to look at what he did to you. He knows deep down what he did was wrong.
We're the 41st.
And you're
Ding
all
ding.
alive because of my nephew's sacrifice.
Exactly. CG, you don't know everything, but I don't blame you though. Zuko did not make it easy.
But in the future, nephew, I would appreciate it if you let me know whether or not you're still alive.
That is the parent lecture.
Actually, are a few of us who care about
Our prince has returned.
Okay.
Huh.
He's like, I don't know what this is about. Y'all hated me like 10 hours ago, but I'll take it. I'm with you, Zuko. Gotta hold it together, though. No crying in front of the troops. All right, Ko. Round 2. You're going down. I like that. Aang's like, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to give you back your mama, even though you don't really deserve it. I'm just kidding. No one should ever go for someone's mama. Y'all look great. Well rested.
After all, what greater pain is there than losing someone you love?
Very true.
Gyatso?
Yeah, I
Finding
kind of
out
knew
someone you love has left you behind.
he was saying goodbye.
Of course.
Once I save my friends, I want more time.
That more time is going to have to wait till the afterlife, my friend. You're still in there, buddy. But I understand why you got to keep him hidden right now. Or you feel like you have to.
What's hard is knowing that sometimes the mask is who we really are.
Or who you've turned into. Woo! Deep episode. Yes, indeed. If you're not careful, you very much will become the thing that you keep pretending to be. All right, guys. Well, that was a fantastic episode. Definitely a deeper one. Kind of like the last episode as well. I mentioned that, you know, they're getting a little bit more into the character development of these different people in this show, which I think is important because unlike the animated show where there was a lot of episodes per season, what did I say? There's 60 episodes overall. So that's like 20 episodes every season. We don't have that kind of time with only 8 episodes. So there's a lot of character development that they need to do as much as they can in the time they're given. And this was another episode of us getting to know these characters on a more personal level. And this one was definitely more so about Zuko. Like the last episode, we talked about Katara and Sokka, some of the things that motivate them and why they are the way they are and why they're on this journey. Obviously, we've already known about Aang, but now we have more understanding as to why Zuko is the way that he is. And this is definitely much more of a progression than it was in the show, because in the show, we really didn't get to see what motivated Zuko and a lot of the reasons why he was the way he was until season 2. But I'm glad that they're touching on it now, because it just really helps us to not necessarily come out with like a, I don't know, like a burning hatred for his character. Because God knows, like I said, when I watched the animated series, I could not stand Zuko in season 1. Oh, I wanted that kid gone. Season 1 and most of season 2, I was like, this kid, like I almost wanted to fast forward any scene he was in, but Ira was really what saved it. But anyways, now we really have this understanding of why Zuko is the way that he is, this understanding of how he's projecting his father's words and trying to be this thing that his father wants him to be, but it's not who he is. It's never who he's been. He's a compassionate person. He's someone who has a lot of heart, and he does have the possibility of being strategic and all those other things, but he doesn't want to be the kind of person who feels like life is not important or that other people's lives don't carry the same weight that his does. And that's something that, of course, him and his father are butting heads on. And obviously, if his grandfather and great-grandfather were still alive, they probably would have felt the same way. But really, with this theme coming through the whole episode of Masks, we see that Zuko is trying to mask who he is as far as being the kinder, more empathetic person that he genuinely is, in order to feel like he needs to fit into this family and this nation that's been shaped by his forebears as being this ruthless and cruel type of person. And it's interesting that, again, I like that the show is definitely taking a few liberties with people like Ozai, for example, because in the animated series, we do somewhat see what happens when Zuko gets hurt with his eye, but it's not very much. It's kind of chopped up into like a flashback type memories. But in this one, we really get to see kind of what leads up to Ozai feeling like he needs to teach Zuko this lesson. Because again, yes, a little bit was his pride of Zuko calling the plan stupid in front of everyone, but it was more Zuko. He realized that Zuko not liking the plan was because it was a cruel plan. It was a merciless plan. And that's more what he didn't like in Zuko. He saw this empathy in him. He saw that he wasn't willing to do any and everything to win. And that's what his dad wanted to burn out of him, quite literally. And he challenges him to the fight. And the reason he does it is because, well, he said, yes, it's a reflection of me, my army, my plan. But really, it was because he knew that going up against that general who he was actually beefing with, Zuko probably would go all out or close to all out. But against his father, someone that he loved, something that mattered to him, he wanted to see whether or not Zuko would go through with giving it his all and possibly hurting his dad. And in that moment, we see Zuko eventually did get the upper hand because he didn't want to fight his father in the first place, understandably so. But in the end, when he did have the opportunity to hurt his dad, he didn't do it. And his dad, it's interesting. It shows you how our own minds are what projects what we think is going on with other people and not really the truth of what might be going through that person's mind. Because the way I interpreted it, Ozai looked at Zuko holding back in that moment with Zuko having respect for his father, that's the reason he did it. And that's why, because he's thinking like, Ozai's thinking, okay, yeah, he respects me because I'm his dad and I'm this big, strong man, blah, 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 blah. And what's crazy to me is it never occurs to Ozai that the reason that Zuko held back was because that's his father and he loves him, right? Like, just doesn't even hit him that, no, I don't want to hurt you because I love you. And most of the time when you're sane, you don't want to hurt people you love. That literally is what starts to fall into like sociopathic and then eventually like sadistic behavior that murderers have, right? Like that's not normal for you to want to hurt people that you love. But that doesn't even hit Ozai because he's so far departed and dissociated from that side of himself that he can't even realize that his son didn't hold back because he was weak. He held back because he cared about him. And that's what you're supposed to do with someone you love, is not want to permanently hurt them. But of course, we see that Ozai looked at that as weakness and had to teach him a lesson, not only by giving him a permanent scar here, but also giving him a visual reminder regularly that he failed or he was too weak at one point. And you see, one thing I'll give them is that when he's doing that very precise torture to his son, he doesn't look like he's enjoying it. You see that there's actually tears in his eyes. He's not enjoying it in that moment, which at least, thank God for that. He knows he's hurting his son. He doesn't want to do that. And I think another change they made, which I'm happy about, is that in the animated series, in that scene, Zula is standing with their uncle, and of course their uncle's looking on in horror, but we see in the animated series Azula's actually laughing. She's enjoying it. Thankfully, they changed that, and I was looking for that specifically. Azula just kind of looked shocked, if anything else. Like, not that you could tell she didn't necessarily feel bad for Zuko, but she wasn't enjoying it. I think she was just surprised that her father was willing to go to those lengths. And that was probably a huge wake-up call for her as well, as far as doing everything she could to stay in her dad's good graces, because obviously he was not afraid to do any and everything he could to make his children strong. So anyway, I really also enjoyed that afterwards we see that when Zuko is convalescing and his uncle is doing his best to cheer him up by basically letting him know he's not going to be blind, thank God, and that he should make a recovery. You know, Zuko is understandably a bit dissociated at that moment because he's still in shock that his dad would do this. I don't think he ever found his dad to be a warm and fuzzy man, but I don't think he ever thought his dad would go to those lengths. And his dad comes in, and of course, he's just doing all this dismissive stuff. Again, this is what I like, because to me, it's showing that Ozai does have some guilt over what he's done, right? Because he's trying to placate it. Oh, the doctors say you're going to make a full recovery. Oh, yeah, they said you're strong. Your body is strong, which is a good thing, right? So again, he's trying to justify it to himself. Like, yeah, I know I did something really horrible right now, and that my son probably hates me a little, but it's for the better. I'm doing this because it's the right thing to do. And then he comes up to him and he has that conversation where he basically is trying to, again, justify what he's doing. And you hear, like, you see, like, at first, what I like is Ozai tries to talk to him and Zuko won't even look at him. And again, you know that hurts because, again, I think Ozai is genuinely feeling guilty. And he knows looking at his son like this, it's not making him feel good. And he's thinking, again, in his own mind, because of the way he thinks that his son's going to thank him for this lesson, and it doesn't happen. In fact, his son can't even look at him. So he gets down. He's like, you know, why? Well, you think that was weak? You think that was strong? You think that was good? It was respectful? It wasn't. It was weakness. And then you see him say the line that Zuko repeats, that compassion is a sign of weakness. And Zuko looks at him. He says, you know, people who are weak can become strong. You just need to give them a chance. He has a point, an irrefutable point. And this is when we see Ozai once again. And of course, because Ozai is already feeling guilty, he doesn't want to hear that. And he feels that guilt, that empathy, as he should have for his own child, start to bubble up. So what does he do? Pushes it back down, puts a wall up, and says, you get out of my sight until you do this task that I don't even think is possible. Why? For my interpretation, because Ozai can't look at him. Looking at him reminds him of how bad he feels over something he did that he knows is wrong. So what better way to deal with it and keep pushing through with things that I know are against my nature? Put it out of my sight, right? Out of sight, out of mind. I will send my son out there in the world. I will never see him again. Or I'll send him away for so long that by the time he could ever come back, I will have accomplished everything and I can show him that what I did and all these things he thinks are terrible, they were for the best, right? And again, with the theme of this episode, I like that they're including Ozai in this, because in the show, we didn't really get a lot of insight into Ozai's thinking. We just kind of saw him as a power-hungry megalomaniac, very one-dimensional and there for the sake of the Avatar's, you know, foil. But in this, I like that they're giving him a little bit more layers, and we see that he even has to believe what he's believing, right? He's got his own plan and his own ideas of what he thinks he has to do to be a leader. And that's touched on when Aang talks to Roku, which I'm going to get to in a minute. But I just like that they're showing that Ozai has his own demons that he's trying to battle, and unfortunately, it's come out in this way. And that's one of the reasons I think that it shows in the last episode when he reminds Azula that Zuko was the one who found the Avatar, and even the look on his face when he found out that the Avatar was found, like the pride, you could see it, like he genuinely was proud of Zuko, because again, in his mind, he's thinking that all these horrible things he's done to his son are paying off, like maybe he's done the right thing. And the reality is most parents, even when they do things that are highly toxic and wrong, some of them, or many of them, not all, obviously there's some that are just twisted, but many of them are doing it because they think it's what's best for their child. They think that they're helping their child by doing this because they think that's the way that they think, but they don't always understand that it's damaging sometimes until it's too late or ever. And I genuinely think that Ozai believes he's doing what's best for his son and his daughter, and of course, by extension, the nation, because he's also got a heavy legacy behind him as well. His father and his grandfather were the people who started this mess, right? So just really like that they're kind of tying all this in and how this generational trauma can affect people, but also showing that Zuko might be the one who has to and can break this generational curse and trauma of what his grandfather's great-grandfather Sozin had started, right? But anyway, so that was good. So, right, just overall, that was a great thing that we saw about Zuko. And that, of course, was triggered by the conversation that Zuko and Aang had together when Aang was just doing his best to connect with Zuko, because as brought out many times before, that is Aang's superpower. He is very good at connecting with people. And he talks to him like, he's like, let me try something light, something that's like not as heavy as the fact that we're trying to take each other out here. You know, your penmanship, it's amazing, right? And he gives Zuko all these compliments and obviously shows that he recognizes Zuko's not only his meticulousness, but his brains, his intellect, his smarts. And Zuko tries his best to be indifferent, but he can't help it, right? He does connect with this kid, because how can you not? Aang is so likable. Like, this kid who's playing him is absolutely nailing it, and nailing the fact that Aang does have this very magnetic personality. But anyway, we see that in that connective moment, Zuko kind of sees like a little bit of a glance into this possibility that me and this kid could actually be friends. Like, maybe this kid is not just this object that I've created in my mind of my way to get home. He could be a person who I could actually get to know. And the fact that they connect over the fact that they both have huge responsibilities and expectations that have been placed on them by other people that really have nothing to do with what they want, right? So more in common than not, which is the case of everyone on the planet. No matter how different you think someone is from you, chances are there's more that you have in common than not. But anyway, really cute moment there. And again, Aang just being an amazingly adorable, connective person and trying to break through, and that's one thing I loved about seeing of Aang in this episode, was how he kept this. That's his superpower, honestly. Forget the airbending. The fact that after Zuko, you know, has him captured by this bounty hunter and ignores his pleas to help his friends, you know, Aang has every right to be so annoyed with him, and instead he just says, what happened to you? I know you couldn't have always been like this, right? He's just, his ability to see the good in people no matter what is such a beautiful trait. And so many of us can't do it. So many of us, because of our own trauma, because of our own issues, just can't get past those types of things. But Aang can do it. And again, that has a lot to do with his upbringing, obviously, in the Air Nomads society, but also the fact that he's still 12 effectively, and he hasn't had time to have the world do horrible things to him to start building up those walls. But all the same, really love that. And I really love that that's, you know, they keep showing that that's really what is going to be what's needed in this broken world that exists right now because of this Fire Nation war. They need someone like Aang who's not going to use, like, who's not wounded, first of all, not wounded by all the past and all the things that have happened over the last 100 years, but also that just can see past people's hurt and the anger and the way that it presents itself, and see that there's someone underneath that and someone who could possibly be reached out to. And so, yeah, love that about him, and love that they showcased it in this episode as well. And then the other thing with Aang was Roku, having that moment with Roku. I thought that was really fun. I liked seeing that Roku is so different than what we've seen of the Fire Nation leadership up until this point. He's funny, he's lighthearted, he's full of jokes, the kind of person that, again, Aang would have gotten along with so well. And you just see how far departed he is from his grandchildren, right? Which, of course, I'm not sure if he's able to see, but it's just a good juxtaposition. And again, a reminder for Aang that not everyone in the Fire Nation is like what he's been exposed to in recent history. But I really love their conversation, and how Roku brings out to Aang that despite the expectations that might be out there, that even with the conversation that he had with Kyoshi, and how Kyoshi said that he had to be a merciless warrior, that's not the only way. These are pieces of knowledge that he needs to understand as he starts to develop his identity, not only as a person, but as an avatar. And we hear the warning message from Roku, however, that he shouldn't get too attached to people like friends and family, because as an avatar, he's going to have to make hard decisions. And when you have more people that you're attached to, you're going to be more tempted to put your own needs, aka not wanting to be alone, which Aang identified as a huge core fear of his back in episode 1. He might be tempted to put those needs above the greater good, which is the world, and that is his main responsibility as the avatar. But again, that was what Roku believed. And I think it's important to go back to what he said about every avatar has to be their own avatar. So maybe for the previous avatars, they felt that being disconnected was the way to be, but that's not Aang. As I said in the episode, Aang lives and breathes connection. So he's not going to be the avatar that doesn't have friends and family. He's going to be the kind of person who's going to string everything and everyone back together through connection. And as I said many times before already, that's necessary in the broken world that exists now. So yeah, this was another really, really good episode. As I said, I really love seeing the backstory of Zuko. Love the relationship again between him and Iroh. It was heartbreaking. Again, it helps us to feel some empathy and understanding for Zuko, which again got me teared up in this episode. And of course, I love seeing those beginnings of the seeds of friendship that are growing between him and Aang, even though right now for Zuko, his personal desire to be accepted by his father is still at the forefront. And like that last line said in the episode, the scariest thing is that sometimes our masks might be our real selves. I think that's really what Zuko's going through right now is like, am I becoming this person that I'm pretending to be? And what does that mean? And am I okay with it? And I think those are very valid questions for him to ask. So yeah, great episode. I enjoyed this one a lot as well. I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love to this episode, and I will see you in the next one.